Before we can automate the deployment of our Markdown book blog onto DigitalOcean, we're going to have to manually deploy it at least once, just to also make sure that everything is working correctly. And also we need to write the script that the CI/CD system is going to use. So here I have on GitHub, this is where our Markdown book blog is. And my idea is every time we push to our main branch here, we're going to run a GitHub action. If everything just works out just fine and it's able to compile and build it in the CI/CD actions, then it will reach out to DigitalOcean and tell us, hey, time to like do your thing. But what does do your thing really mean? Well, we need to actually set everything up on DigitalOcean to be able to download and build this blog. So let's go ahead and at least set that up once. Now, if you remember, we have this deployer user and everything is going to have to be doable by our deployer user. Well, to begin with, we can Git. So we have access to Git. So let's just go ahead. We're in a home directory here. I'm just going to git clone. And we're going to clone the HTTPS version of this blog. And I'm just going to put it into that name. It's going to be fine. Okay, that's great. Now, in subsequent run-throughs of this, we're going to want to do a git pull. So let's go ahead and sort of like as we're going through this, we'll update what we need to do. Okay, so we're going to do a vim. Where's our installer? Our vim deploy, that's what it is. So I don't really need that to be just like an ls.al anymore. What we want to do is, and let's actually just reconnect it again. I deleted all of those sockets. Let's reconnect in. And we're going to switch over to that, to the deployer. There we go. We're back to here. So we can see here is the name of this Markdown book blog. So I want to copy that. So the first thing I want to do, this is going to run in the home directory. But just to make sure that we're like CDing into the correct place, we can just say, okay, we want to CD into, where is it? It's going to be, I believe, slash that. And then if this for some reason doesn't work, I want to then just exit. And maybe we can just like exit one, for example. Okay, the one is the exit code, and then in shell scripts, anything that exits with a non-zero value is an error. So we want to show like, hey, you're erroring out. This is a problem. Okay, so we're going to cd into there, and then we're going to do a git pull. All right, so that's the first step of this working. In fact, I can just leave this open here, and we'll just continue to edit that. Okay, so we're going to cd into Markdown book blog. In the script, we're essentially here. The next thing is that we're going to need to be able to run that command to build the Markdown book. Well, that means we need mdbook, but we don't have that here. Okay, now it says Snap has access to that, but I'm very hesitant that like Snap actually has that. We can check that out. We can do a Snap search mdbook and see what it says. It says create a book from Markdown files. Publisher Snap Crafters. I don't know if that's exactly what we want. What I'm thinking of doing here is actually just installing Rust and installing Markdown book from Rust crease.io. I think that's going to be a little bit better for what we're looking for. So I'm going to, we're going to have to go find Rust. Let's go get it. So we're going to do rust lang. I'm going to go to install, and I'm just going to get rust up. So that way, when I need to like easily update it, that's going to be very easy for me in the future. So we're just going to copy this command, come back to here and run it. All right, so proceed with the installation. It's just going to install the latest stable version of Rust, which is perfectly fine for what we're looking for. And it's done. Okay, so notice it is saying that we can't actually use it yet until we run this command. So I'm just going to go ahead and run that command really quickly. And then immediately we're going to install Markdown Book. So we're going to do cargo install md book. And this will probably take a while. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the recording and I'll see you when it's done. So in the middle of installing Markdown Book for Rust, we ran into a problem. It attempted to use the CC linker, but none was there, and that's because the DigitalOcean droplet didn't install these for me. So we're gonna have to install that before we can build the Markdown Book. Now I could just go find a linker and install that, but really the best thing for us to do is install the build essential tools. So what I'm going to do here for that is we're going to do a, we have to be root to do this. So we're going to come back to here. Actually, let's just connect in. This is my local system. So we can do this SSH in. Let's then become root. Let's do sudo apt update. It's going to update their entire repository. Once again, I just do this every single time I start like an entire session of updating. And all packages are up to date. We're good to go. What we're going to be looking for is sort of like a collection of packages to install called build essential. We can actually search for this and just take a look at what that is. So we're going to do sudo apt search build essential. And we can see it's an informational list of build essential packages, which doesn't really give me too much here. But what I can do is come back to Ubuntu, and we're going to search for Ubuntu build essential and see what the details of this package are. So here's the build essential. This is, okay, 20. And somewhere in here, it has a list of everything. Oh, here it is. We're going to get G++, GCC. We're going to get a bunch of libraries. We're going to get make. That's what we're going to get from this. So very helpful for programming anything in Rust. So we're going to go ahead and do the install for it. So sudo apt install build essential. Hit yes. And once again, this might take a little bit of time, so I'm going to go ahead and pause the recording until it's done. See you then. And we're finished installing. So now we should be able to continue building the Markdown Book. Let's go ahead and head back to our deployer. And we're going to continue the cargo install Markdown Book. Looks like we're pretty much almost done. It's installing and all the compiles. Well, there's 238 of these packages. So once again, I'm going to pause and then I'll see you when it's done. All right, it looks like MDBook has finished compiling. So it's time for us to continue building this. Once we've installed that, now we can actually just use it. So if we take a look at our script again, we had CD'd into it, we get pulled, and then the final thing is to actually just build the book. So let's see how that works from an interactive experience. So here we are in Markdown book. We can just do MD book and then build. And okay, it builds it. And we can see now there is this book folder here that has like the indexed HTML and everything else inside of it. So we can actually look inside of that, and there it is. So we are going to want to then cd in, well, we've already cd'd into it, so we're just going to do md book build. But there's a problem here, because if I try to run this, let's actually try that. So we're going to do slash deploy command md book not found. So unfortunately, it's not going to be quite as simple as just doing that. We have to, like, md book installed not into the standard path of our deployer user. So let's find out where it is. So which md book tells me that this is where it is. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy this entire path here, and we're going to vim our deploy script again, and I'm going to put this in here. So we're going to give it the full path to where this is. Okay, cd that, and let's try running this again. Hey, there it goes. Okay, so already up to date. It tried to do the get pull, and then it ran this to build the book. Okay, perfect. Now let's come back over here. Well, actually, no, we're still logged in. Everything is over here. Let's exit out. Here I am at my main computer. I want to do our SSH as the deployer. Deployer at, give it the IP address. Let's go find that again. We need to give it the key that we're looking for. So -i for the identity file. And this is the ID deployer tutorial. And if I hit that, we now see, okay, it can't open the PTY, and it runs this command. So that's our auto deploy script essentially running now. So is there anything else we need to do for this? Let me double check my notes here. We've locked down the file. We've set up our deploy script, which is actually just running this and keeping it up to date. So I think we're good here. So hopefully this has helped you out. We now are automatically deploying this file. I think next up we're going to have to actually get this showing up on our screen, because I don't want to automate any of the process until we have these things fully working from beginning to end. And that means setting up Nginx for actually hosting the web server. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.